there, the bolt straight snapped off. So I was supposed to come out next week, or in 2 weeks, with my daughter for spring break. We do a yearly father-daughter trip, and she's 4, and I can't come now because I got to take it. I fly back to Puerto Rico Monday.
But you live out there, right?
Yeah, so it's got to go to the shop. They'll have it for a couple weeks because now they got to either take the turbo off, they got to drill and tap those bolts. This shock, I've been telling them since day one, leaks like crazy. Robbie keeps telling me no. There's fluid everywhere on it. I'm like, I'm telling you, there's something wrong with the shock. And when you clean your car and detail it, and then in 5 minutes it looks like this.
So my buddy in the black shirt, he was 259.
Okay.
And he backed out.
A bunch of cars went up for sale last night.
Last night. I think your video, like, I bet kudos to you.
5 cars in 1 hour.
Damn!
When I was 18, I tatted him on my back. I've been a sponsor. Love this dude. Got to know him. He's crazy hot and cold, and it's like he sold something amazing at Sand Show. We were all
Got him!
standing. I was there 4 years ago. My wife was pregnant, and it's like, oh my God, that's Robbie Gordon. You've seen like the old desert people movies and shit in his Menards truck. He's coming by Gecko in 2 wheels, 3 wheels in the trophy truck. You're like, this guy fucking loves, and he's gonna build something that's
Yeah, man, it was great when he said it was a USA meet.
Give me an honest input on the Speed, bro.
It's difficult, man. I think I'm selling it. I'm pretty much on the fence there. I've done a lot of trips with it. The hard part is I love the car. I love the...
Falling in love with you.
Oh, you're kidding. Oh, it's a joke. Oh, that's funny.
What is
Suspension?
it? Not the suspension, just what the car was supposed to be.
Okay.
What the vision was that Robbie sold. The best car, an awesome motor, the best transmission, all the new technology. Suspension's okay, you guys can see here. This shock's been leaking since day one. I'm told don't worry about it, but the car definitely pulls to a side in the rear, so I can tell it's not working. Brand new motor, coolant line broke that wasn't replaced. The exhaust broke, and some things break in race cars.
I got my man Jimmy Jam coming to
How about that?
Like 100%, that's to be understandable. But when it's simple stuff, it's starting solenoids that leave you stranded. The exhaust breaks off. I've had issues with the power steering. It's just always little stuff, and as difficult as it is to come out to Glamis, right? We all got to load our trailers, go to the grocery store, get food, buy gas, buy all of that, drive hours to get out here. Me, I fly 12 to 14 hours to get out here. And then you want to jump in the car and you just want to go.
It's not gonna happen, is it?
I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
And then you brake. And no one wants to tow anyone back, right? Because
Absolutely
they're
not.
going to break their car. So now you're burdening somebody else. And then I'm back at camp and I'm working on it. And everyone wants to go for a ride. And here I am wrenching on my car again. The doors were popping open. And a lot of it is probably little stuff that they're going to work through. And maybe in 2 years or 3 years, when he increases the quality of some of the components, there's cam sensors going out. His starter went out today. Transmissions are going out right now.
I throw trash all over the...
New tranny at 700 miles, a few others. New trannies at 400 miles. When the car's proven, it's going to be amazing. Because aesthetic-wise, you look at the welds, you look at the bracing, the seats, the stereo. It really is beautiful. It's got so much potential, but if you don't have confidence in your car, you can't use it in Glamis as a place where you need something confident to drive.
You can say you hate me, you can call me crazy, but don't touch my
start, but it's not ready yet.
So there's just some kinks that need to work out.
There's just some kinks, but it's a quality of kinks, and the problem is there's not going to be aftermarket to support. So you're going to have to buy the same part. There's so many things custom that Robbie did. That's how he built stuff. He patents it, he engineers it, and I get that. You have a philosophy to make something the best, you redesign it. But for a consumer, if you don't have the parts available, or there's something aftermarket that can make better, as great as you are as a manufacturer, you have to mass produce vehicles. So not only do you have to focus on quality, but the speed in which you can produce it and the cost in which you can produce it, right?
You gotta have that margin.
Every one of these cars has a limitation because of the margin and the cost. It's not a $200,000 car, and that's where aftermarket steps in, and guys drop $6,000 on a cage. HCR suspension is $14,000 for something. You pay it knowing it's stronger. That's not going to be here to support this, which is what makes it more difficult.
Yeah.
But it is beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks good.
It just looks big. I come out with my 2 little girls, and we're breaking down, we're stuck, we're trying to get towed back, and it's just not fair.
But the front is not leaking, your shocks, but then you got a steering.
The fronts are good. It's been that back rear since day one.
Okay.
And I just had GG lighting, put grill lights in, cab lights in. MTS did the suspension and dialed it in because the stock springs aren't good for Glamis. And it could be that it's just hard on the car for Glamis because it's heavy, and maybe in Baja guys do better, but this is where I come.
Yeah,
and for what I was envisioning from his updated videos and Sancho and just Robbie's background and history and knowledge and how he drives, no one was jumping the big jump out at Oldsmobile back in the day, like Buckshot maybe and some guys, but Rob was gnarly. So you're thinking, I'm gonna buy a car, I'm gonna send it, it's gonna haul. And for Glamis, right now it's not the car.
You still gotta work on it.
You gotta work on it. And we can all work on everything. I got a Yamaha I don't work on, never have since 2017. That ProR, we did the Bikeman Stage 3. Bikeman's awesome. It's cams, a flash with the ECU and clutching. MTS springs, it's 305 horsepower. It starts, it does 80 up olds. I was doing 42 up olds yesterday with a gnarly running start. That car rides
and naturally aspirated. Naturally aspirated, no turbo.
Naturally aspirated. And you look at the engine, there's not a drop of oil, there's not a speck of grease. And if any part breaks, those parts, I can Amazon Prime it to do the storage. Axles are $100 and some. These axles are $500, and you can only get them from
But wait! There's more!
Oh.
Yeah. $500. I bought 2 of them already.
Dang, that's pricey.
So if you add speed key and add more power, you land on the power, your axles are toast. You're going to be 1 or 2 axles every weekend. Plus a belt, plus whatever, it's going to be too expensive to drive.
But the apps has to come from a different vehicle. They're not proprietary to
No,
Speed.
these are proprietary. Robbie's a smart cat. Give him that. This is a dual plunging badass axle that he's designed to keep the articulation. So I have a stacker, and when we put the ProR and the Speed in the stacker, you lift the ProR, you see the wheels come down like this and the track narrow. The Speed is damn near nuts, but to keep that geometry with the arms and to keep the axle long enough, because another axle will rotate down, this stays, he plunges from both micro stubs. So it's all his technology.
You can't go to AutoZone, you can't go anywhere to find out.
No, nowhere. Not Pro-Am, nowhere. No, because it's a stub axle. It's the snout that goes out the spline. It's what goes into the case. It's all custom by Robbie.
So are you going to get a ProR, or what are you going to do?
I want a ProR.
Get a Canam, man.
What about a
So
MaverickR?
Canam, I'm hearing rumors that a 4-seater's coming out this year. I also want a sand car because I only come to Glamis, but I can't justify the cost. Normally, I only come about 4 times a year.
Yeah.
So to have a $100,000 sand car for 4 times a year, it's not feasible. Where a side-by-side is pretty easy to do. The payment's not bad. I finance it, 50 grand or whatever. Paid a few things. That was supposed to be done. I kept my YC as a backup. We got quads for my girls, and this was going to be my wife's car. I was going to rip my Yamaha. It's 300 horse and amazing. And my wife would never drive that car. She can't. She can't hold the steering wheel. And if it breaks on her, my Yamaha can't tow it back. So if I do decide to sell it, I may sit over the summer and just do nothing and wait until its next season comes, see what comes out technology-wise,